Hi guys, it's SkintBoot here, and today what I'm going to be bringing you guys is a No Man's Sky video. And in today's video, what I'm going to be looking into is the Abyss update for No Man's Sky, the first title update since Next, which has released today just kind of out of nowhere. Now this update, as predicted, focuses on improving underwater exploration and variety, whilst also adding an element of fear, as well as a multitude of new features and so much more. For this video, I want to read the patch notes posted by Hello Games, give my take on it, and just kind of break stuff down in a general sense. However, this video will be very much brief, and I'm not going to spend hours upon hours breaking down every little tiny bit of information and what have you. So if you do want to check out a more kind of, well-rounded source, then do check out the original post, because that does showcase a little bit more, and of course the full patch notes with all of the fixes and shit like that won't be covered. But anyway, without further ado, please do sit back and relax. Let's get started. Alright, so let's kick things off with a bang. The Abyss update introduces brand new flora and fauna to underwater sections of planets. Thank fucking Jesus this is now a thing. So the blog post states the following: the variety and visual quality of underwater biomes has been greatly improved. Experience rare exotic aquatic biomes as you explore new depths. Underwater creatures have become more frequent and more interesting. Aquatic life inhibits the full depth of the ocean, and unique terrifying creatures can be encountered on the ocean floor. So we're given a fair amount to go off here, but to sum it up, underwater now actually has separate biomes to each other, which is naughty as shit. This means that in theory there should be a kind of set of rules for certain oceans or certain lakes. Not everything will just be randomized. There will be a kind of set of rules. If you think sort of Minecraft and how they have underwater biomes, kind of similar to that. There are also new creatures to discover, as well as new plants that pose much more danger. The mention of sea life now existing on the ocean floor is also really exciting. This now means that we can actually discover really disgusting deep sea creatures that previously did not exist, meaning there is now actually an incentive to go to the very bottom of the ocean. And that's what Abyss is all about, daring to go to extreme depths and kind of facing your fears of water and scary looking animals to catalogue some strange new fish. But of course you can only do this if you have the balls to go down there in the first place. A wonderful image is also provided just underneath this, with a photo showcasing one of the new plants, or a plant life. Like, honestly, I don't even know what this is. It actually looks alien. It's not something you'd see on Earth, and that's why I'm happy, because now what we discover will truly feel out of this world to us. Up next are a whole set of aquatic missions, including a brand new storyline. The post reads the following: a new story, The Dreams of the Deep, brings a new context to the depths and a dark narrative to No Man's Sky. Discover the fate of a troubled crew stranded from a freighter crash by the rising tides, or explore underwater ruins to uncover the tale of a lost soul trapped deep beneath the waves. So this is really exciting stuff right here. Not only have Hello Games made underwater experiences more varied, but they've also given context and a purpose to going into water. I remember how there was some comments left on my previous Abyss videos talking about how the lore aspect of water would likely be expanded, and guess what, you geniuses, you were absolutely right. So from what I can tell, there seems to be a load of backstory behind underwater sections now, what with the entire crash freighter storyline and ruins. So for those of you that like story and having a motive or something to empathize with, you're in great luck. I think this was a right move for sure, giving underwater more of a incentive to go down, not simply to explore, but to actually do stuff, to, play the game as such, and having the backstory adds kind of like a reason, a motive. So this was a lot more than I expected personally. Okay, moving on, we now have the introduction of sunken wrecks, Hello Games' take on an underwater version of archaeology missions on the surface. They give us the following details: investigate sunken ruins and find ancient treasures, or dive to submerged buildings to find remnants of their lost occupants. Discover and scavenge lost cargo from gigantic freighter wrecks. use the terrain manipulator to excavate treasures buried in the nearby ocean floor, find and repair rare crashed starships to restore them from the seabed to the skies. Now this is meaty as hell. So all of you likely know about the missions on land to uncover buried treasure, you know, when you sell it, catalog it, blah blah blah. This is the same thing, yet miles more dangerous. Not only do we now have actual ruins to explore underwater, but we can also dig for treasure underwater to find relics to sell or, as I said, catalog. Underwater crash freighters now exist too, which is going to be so good for photo opportunities and just general kind of, you know, eeriness. I know this is when my fucking phobia starts to come back. Seeing a big ass ship underwater just makes my skin crawl, and I absolutely hate that. And that final mention of starships is what got me the most excited. So the idea of finding crashed ships on the seabed was shown to us briefly in pre-release footage. I think it was one of the very first gameplay demos we saw, the one that begins underwater and, you know, we just see that little ship kind of bubbling away. It was like an aesthetic thing, but people did kind of point to it as, you know, cut content, something which we didn't receive. And now not only do we have this, so we now have the aesthetic of it, but we also have a reason to look for these ships. It's likely that the ones crashed underwater will be of much higher stats than those simply found in space or on land, and I can imagine this is largely due to the added danger of locating them. Either way, there is now another gameplay loop of trying to get new ships. I know for a fact that good majority of the community absolutely loves hunting down ships and, you know, putting their photos on Reddit and stuff like that. So now that there's another method to do this, I think a lot of people are going to be happy, myself included. But once again, it really does seem like Hello Games are focusing on the exploration side of No Man's Sky with the Abyss update. The concept of finding new things and seeing stuff not previously seen before is amazing, and I'm glad it's been done. It does make me think that if they can do this for underwater, then perhaps they can do it on land. I know it's a lot harder to do because obviously you spend more time on land, but this just shows how much they can change in such a short amount of time. So I'm very hopeful for the future. Second to last, we now have a new underwater exocraft. So this appears to be the old data mine submarine from a while back. I mentioned this in my previous Abyss video, and the description of this reads the following: master the depths of planets using a new exocraft, the Nautilon. Probably said that completely wrong, whatever. I'll just call it the Naughty, make it a lot fucking easier. This submersible vehicle gives new meaning to underwater navigation, combat and mining, and can be summoned to any ocean on the planet as well as docked at underwater buildings. Upgrade your submersible with installable submarine technology and customize the Naughty to stand out from your fellow explorers. So there isn't much to say here. This is very self-explanatory. There isn't really a lot I can break down. All we can take from this is that we now have a dedicated exocraft for exploring underwater parts. But once again, I never ever use exocraft, so this doesn't excite me all that much. However, it does seem like a necessary addition for sure, especially with the Abyss update. And finally, we have brand new base building parts. So again, this doesn't excite me a lot because I barely base build, but there are new parts like multi-story domes, an indoor aquarium, which I love the idea of, and much more. There is a little photo provided of some of the blueprints, and you can get a general kind of vibe from the photo of the underwater base as well. I've heard reports as well that underwater base building was extremely buggy, kind of like underground base building. I heard so many reports of terrain regenerating or the base getting stuck in walls where you should have excavated it, but it grows back like some kind of fucking plant. So hopefully with this update, the underwater base building is now fixed. I can't report on it because I've never done it, but I know for a fact that this does allow those that are interested in it to do it without fighting the game, essentially. So that's always nice. But guys, as I said, please do check out the original post for a much more in-depth read of things. This was very much a brief video compared to what could be discussed I don't like to sort of go overboard and examine each little tiny detail, because I don't have the time for that, first of all, and second of all, no one wants to hear me break down a little bit of syntax on a blog. So hopefully this is good enough for you. But guys, I just want to say thank you very much for taking the time out of your day to watch this video. If you guys enjoyed it, then please do feel free to leave a like on it, and if you guys could also subscribe to MZK, then that'd be absolutely fantastic. And as always, I will see you guys on my next video. This is SkintBoot, signing out.